And hello, my darling friends. Thank you for joining today for episode 2 of our series on Shamanic Soul Gardening. I'm Carla Mesky. This is SpiritHealer.com broadcasting to you. And we're sharing Grandmother Sunflower's very sacred, sweet recipe for modern day shamanism working inside a soul garden. Now, I want to make sure I'm happening here. It doesn't look like it. 1, 2, 3. Add a title. Soul Gardening number 2. All right, there I go. Why isn't it just doing it? I don't know. Come on. It's weird. I don't know. Hi, Lainey.
Hi.
I'm just trying to figure out why the Facebook stream isn't doing what it's supposed to do.
That's good old Mercury in retrograde.
Oh, yeah. There's always something, huh? Now we're live. Hip, hip, hooray! Setting up your meeting for Facebook Live, or maybe not. Okay, let's see.
Says it's now streaming.
Is it?
What it says.
Cool. All right. Thank you guys for coming. I'm Carla Mesky. I'm with SpiritHealer.com. I have a school of modern shamanism, ancient wisdom, called Spirit Healer School. I teach shamanism for animals and people. And my main leader of the school, my board of directors, my president, is a lady named Grandmother Sunflower, who's a spirit. And this series, Shamanic Soul Gardening, is brought to you by her because it's her big idea. And I listen to her and I follow her directions. And she is creating this abundance and beauty for us to be thrilled with in our lives. So hello, Giovanna, darling, Barbara, Lainey, Carolyn. Let me see who else is here. We have Andrea, Shoshana.
Yay!
Hey, and hi, Pam. It's good
Hi.
to see all you guys. Nice to see you today. Okay, so this is what we're about. Shamanic soul gardening is Grandmother Sunflower's way of working in a non-ordinary reality space in the spirit world to create a garden that grows and flourishes and creates the joy in your life. Because we set our intention for what we want to create in our lives, and then we go into the journey world and we plant a garden and we nurture the natural world in that space. And as we do that, our lives mirror it and manifest. It's just magical. It's really magical. I like to begin by calling in, so I'm going to go ahead and call in the spirits. As we step from this reality and merge it into the shamanic reality, walking into our beautiful place in nature where our soul gardens thrive. Touch the center of your garden and think about the plants and the plots and the places that you've created so far. Some of you have been doing this for a little bit with me or on your own, and others are new. Welcome. We're going to turn our rattles to the north and ask the gateway of the stars to open and for the sacred spirits of the north to come in and bless our garden with starlight and a song. I feel the fairies of the north coming, the garden fairies and the stronger light beings. Well, not stronger, but the big, tall, light beings behind them. And we walk now around the sacred circle to the east and open the gateway of the sun. Rising dawn, beautiful on our shining, shining land. May the sacredness of the new day illuminate our lives so we can find the beauty and the specialness in each little thing. And we go to the south and we open the gateway of earth with all of her abundance. Grandmother Sunflower comes in and she scatters seeds like dandelion seeds, the kind that have the little airy things that whir in the wind. So many composites go that way. These are the natives of your composites. These are the natives of your marigolds, your sunflowers, for each of your lands. May they fill your gardens with the attractants for the insects and the beauty to create balance and harmony. And we open now the gateway of the west, the soft weather, the beautiful winds carrying moisture. May all of our directions open to all the spirits who love us, and may our gardens be nourished. And before we come back, just walk around the perimeter, whatever it is that creates your boundary, and thank those spirits and those things for giving you confidence that you are in the right place. As above, so below, as within, so without. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to have fun. Last week, I talked about what the soul garden is, that it's a place where we can journey with our spirits and set intention for what we'd like to create in our life, and then plant a beautiful garden there that as we nurture it, so our life is nurtured and so our life unfolds. And that's what we're doing. In order to enter your soul garden, all you have to do is just go to a very sweet place in nature that you already know and that you love, and ask to be taken by a sacred teacher, perhaps a power animal, another guide, into a space where your soul garden will become and flourish. And for me, it's a beautiful place. It looks like an English garden. It's in the lower world, and it's right next to Grandmother Sunflower's circle. It's not her circle, but it's sort of a parallel place. And in the center is a gorgeous crystal ball. I'll show you one that I have that mimics it. Yeah. So I have it in this little clay dish, but there's a crystal ball, and it's actually pretty big. And that crystal ball is what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the center of your garden. Because inside this crystal ball, inside this center, is a portal that takes me into any other dimension I need to go. But usually for me, more specifically, it takes me into the land of the dragons. Why dragons? Well, dragons, it turns out, are those magical beings whose shimmering wings are the surface between the worlds. That's what they told me anyway, and I believe them. And if that's so, then dragons are the boundaries. Dragons become the interface for us between the worlds. And you know they're very strong beings. They can carry the force of nature with their fire and their wind. And they can carry the force of pure compassion and transfiguration. Dragons are like the snakes that rise up out of the ground, the naga of the earth who rises into the wind and up to the stars and gets wings and gets starlight and comes back and forms kind of like they are to the shamanic garden as the tree is. The tree is the center and the dragon is the force between these worlds. The dragon is the dancer between the worlds. So for dragons, it's very important for me to have a portal to the dragons, because when I plant a seed in my garden, my seed is planted like this. I take my intention. Perhaps my intention is that I would like to have manifesting in my world a new horse to come. Would I want that? Probably not. But let's just say I did, and the danger that I might plant this seed, a mare to come. And I take that seed, and with great trepidation, I ask grandmother about this, and she says, well, let's plant it and see. And so I take the seed and I put it into the crystal ball, and I ask that the dragon who will fertilize this seed lend its power to the seed so that the seed will become fertile and strong. For my dream and my reality, fertilized with the dragon's power, becomes magical. It becomes the possibility. It becomes the potential for what I'm trying to dream. And so, do I have the courage to plant this seed? No, I don't. But that I thought of it is kind of interesting, isn't it? Matt and I are having a dialogue right now. My horses are 25 years old. They're strong and healthy, but they're 25 years old. And when they have finished their lives, will I have more horses? Or will we be free to travel and all of that? This is why I don't dare plant the seed, but I wanted to show you how I do it. So the center of your space, it's a portal, and it's a portal to the place where your interface with the magical world allows your dream to become fertilized, to become potent, so that when you plant it and you begin to nurture it, it takes on a life force bigger than what you normally would impose upon it with your schedules and your to-do lists and your planning and your structures. It puts magic into your dream. The center is also a bridge between all the dimensions. Just like the center of your sacred circle where you do your healing work is a bridge to all the dimensions, the center of your shamanic soul garden is a bridge to all the dimensions. So let's do a little journey right now. And let's just go to our soul gardens and see what's in the center. What does your center look like? Is it a crystal ball like mine? Or is it something else? Let's just go see. I'll rattle for us. Well, maybe I'll drum for us for about 4 minutes. 3-4 minutes, something short. Three minutes, just a quick journey. I don't want to take all our time up on these. You can do lots of journeying afterwards. Go to your sacred shamanic soul garden. Reconnect there. Connect with your teacher there. And ask to see what the center of your garden looks like. Mm. Welcome back. Now that you know what the center of your garden is and what it looks like, the next step that grandmother has for us is to set core intention. To set core intention. And we're going to work on that next time on Wednesday. But I'd like you to just sort of put it in your mind, because when we open the garden and we open it and go to the center, what she'd like us to do is remember the things about us that we believe are the truths, like the Declaration of Independence holds the truths that we hold to be so sacred for our country. What are the truths that you hold to be so sacred for you, for your domain? For me, one of them is to be useful, to be useful to the spirits and to my community, to be a useful bridge. That's a core intention of mine. And there's others, but I'd like you to just sort of chew on that, because when you go to the center, you open your circle, you look at the directions, and you go to your center, you put into that center or somehow mirror with that center what your core purposes are. And if you reinforce them every time you go into your soul garden, you're making every single thing you do in that garden in line with your personal purpose, in line with your heart and your truth. So to grow a life of integrity and joy, you have to be aligned with your purpose and your truth. And it may only be one little thing that you recognize as absolutely imperatively true for you, but by golly. So think about that. Next time we'll start with that. What did you see in your center? Who'd like to share? Shoshana. You have to unmute yourself.
How's that?
Yeah, there you go.
I had a dodecahedron.
Oh.
And in the dodecahedron, each section was crystalline. And when I go inside, I'm bathed in rainbows.
Oh.
And my teacher came with me, and we were just like, wow, this is amazing. So, yeah, I can travel from there. I love that. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you, Grandmother Sunflower, and thank you, Shoshana. Yee. I think the dodecahedron, yeah, I get that. Get that. Bucky was so great, wasn't he? He got this. Buckminster Fuller, for those of you who wonder what the hell she's talking about. There's a whole line, just Buckminster Fuller dodecahedrons, go.
Yeah.
Google and go, and your life will be delightful. Who else? Who else will share?
I'll go.
Oh, goody. Hi, Lainey.
Hi. So mine was a stone circle, like kind of like Stonehenge, like that kind of stone circle. And on each of the directions was a dragon that was over the portal for each of those directions. And then when I looked up, I realized that it was like a inside of a globe, like you said, kind of like I almost felt like a dragon's egg, but it was more circular. So it was definitely enclosed inside of that area.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, and one of the things that is pretty astounding about this is how that center thing, which looks an awful lot like a dragon's egg, becomes the circumference. So the center becomes the circumference.
Yes.
And this is something that Joanna in Italy has been really working out, how the center becomes the circumference when she's working with cosmic eggs. And
Wow.
it is, I think it's right up there with that science concept that the macro mirrors the micro. And that as you go inside each one, the order shifts. You think at the micro, or that the order of the world that looks like the Euclidean order of the world disappears at the macro and at the micro.
Wow.
So they're both windows into the same different way of perceiving. And that's a magical thing in shamanism. That is a magical concept. So I'm really glad you got that.
Thank you.
So next time we're going to talk about putting our core intentions in, and we also need to seed our garden. It's time, don't you think? Don't you think it's time that we create a plot? What you'll do is you'll think about one section of your life, one thing in your life that you want to cultivate. And you'll go to your teacher and you'll say, please help me create a beautiful garden that as this grows and as we nourish it and as we do the work, it becomes what I'm trying to manifest, that my life becomes it. Carolyn, what garden plot will you plant first?
Well, it's kind of funny because I did have a little session with my teacher, and they told me to plant radishes, which I thought was kind of funny because I'm not a big radish fan, but they said it was to help to ground my sassy, spicy side of myself that usually comes out to people, and ground that so that I am more heart-centered, because the heart was what was in the middle of my garden. So that was kind of funny. And then they wanted me to put raspberry bushes around my heart to protect it because it is so sensitive.
So
I started with that a little bit. So it was kind of neat, I'm having fun with it.
I love that. And in the category of what you're working on, it's just your heart-centeredness. It's just being protected and being strong in your own bones and in your space. Yeah. This is good. Another one of the key concepts that we're going to be getting to in the next week is compost piles. And I'd like you to consider that. We'll do a whole week on it, but the compost pile is where you go to get rid of all your rubbish. All your I can'ts, I shouldn'ts, it isn't, my negative, I'm bad about, blah, 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 Twitter, all of that. You can put into the compost pile. And you can put your illness, your disturbances, your fear, anything that isn't helping your joy bloom into the compost pile. Compost is a magical thing because what does it do? It breaks down that which has been useful and isn't any longer, and puts it back into source material that becomes useful again. It's the most beautiful thing for shape-shifting the parts of ourselves that we'd like to see float away. Now, the beauty of my compost pile is that there's always plenty of stuff I get to put in it because I seem to keep creating all of the garbage. And maybe that's fine, maybe that's what it's all about. Not to beat myself up for looking at Twitter and getting all, just put it in the compost pile. Keep a healthy energy flowing and going. Now, I want to share one thing that I'm doing in the garden, which came up last week and is really pretty amazing. I'm teaching soul retrieval right now in my 16-month intensive training program. It's our soul retrieval module. And Grandmother Sunflower said, as I'm writing the book up, because I change it every time, she's always making things new. She said, now look, if you were to bring the soul parts back into a cottage that the person, your client, creates in her soul garden. And you put those soul parts in there and you teach her how to go to that cottage and sit with them and reintegrate with them. Wouldn't that be neat? And I said, yeah, that's easy. That's great. So for me, it was easy. Yeah. It was easy for me to journey with my clients and have them co-journey with me, journey along with me. So I would say to them, tell me about a place in nature that you really love and just daydream yourself into that place. And they'd daydream there and they'd say, okay, I'm at a creek and there's this beautiful oak tree and I love this place so much. And when I come here, I'm really happy. Lovely. And I can see it there. And then I'd ask them more things about it so that we'd manifest the whole place. And then I'd ask them, is there a house or a cottage or a cabin or something there? Is there a building? Yes. And they'll describe the beautiful building and we'll create it together and they'll build it and they'll put in furnishing. And then once they're there, I ask them who their guardian is there, who the power animal, who the teacher is. And then they have that. I leave them there and I go do soul retrieval. And I come back and I bring the soul parts back into that cabin with them. And according to what Grandmother Sunflower and their teachers say, give them activities, recipes to work with to integrate the soul part. Last week, the gentleman I was working with is a Tai Chi Tai Chi master guy. He's really into Tai Chi. And his way of integrating the soul parts was to do his long form Tai Chi physically in his room and at the same time step into his soul garden, his cottage, and invite the soul parts to merge into his bones while he's doing his long form until there is no more inviting them in, because as soon as he goes there, he knows they're all one. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So the soul garden can be useful to us, not just for this business of creating our own life, but it can be useful for us in our healing to co-create a place with your client. I wanted to share that since I know we have a lot of experienced shamanic practitioners on this call. All right, do you have anything you'd like to say or share before we close for the day? Shoshana.
I just wanted to say, I love doing this with you when you did it with us at our reunion. Mm-hmm. You did a soul garden. Mind you, I've been hideous about going down there. So when I went in there, it was frightful. So my teacher was like, yeah. I said, so here's the thing. Let's start over. And he said, yeah, I've been waiting. I said, what if we till all this under and ask for it to nourish what's coming into the soul garden now? He said, excellent. So we were busy rototilling in there. I just thought you'd get a kick out of that.
I love it. So Shoshana and Giovanna are in the program. We're in a group. We went to shaman school together 20 plus years ago, and we do reunion every year. And I guess 5 years ago, I taught soul gardening at our reunion. I think it was.
That was great.
It was fun. And I didn't really take it seriously and pursue it as an offering. And then Grandmother Sunflower said last year, I want you to offer soul gardening. I want you to do it on this whole media thing you guys do. And I want you to make it free. And I want you to do it as an ongoing offering. And I will bring through that what I want to share into the world.
Beautiful.
So I have no idea what's coming.
I love it. I think it's one of the most tangible, practical, beautiful methods in using shamanic work that everybody could relate to and use and personalize it. It's a huge gift.
It is, Carla. It's wonderful. Very, very accessible and magnificent and creative. I mean, just,
Thank you.
It's you, honey.
Okay, I'll see you Wednesday. Remember, we're going to be putting our core intentions into the center, and let's plant, or prepare at least, our first garden plot on Wednesday.
Yay!
Take care, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. I love you. See you
Love
again.
you.